Speaker 1. They say history remembers heroes, but sometimes it's the machines that carry their ghosts. In every war, in every battle, beneath the smoke and fire, there's something made of steel, roaring, rattling, alive in its own way, carrying men who were never sure they'd see another sunrise. Speaker 2. You can hear it if you listen closely. The echo of tracks rolling through mud, the blades slicing through wind, the engines whispering promises of survival. Speaker 1. Because behind every victory, there's a machine that bore the weight of human fear and courage. And in America's history, 7 of those machines didn't just change the battlefield, they changed the way humanity understood war itself. Speaker 2. This is their story. The story of invention, destruction, and evolution. The story of how technology became a mirror, reflecting the best and worst of what we are. Chapter 1. Fire and Faith. The M4 Sherman. Speaker 1. The year was 1942. The world was on fire. Europe trembled under tyranny. And America, still reeling from Pearl Harbor, was stepping into the inferno. And from that fire came a machine that would carry the dreams of democracy on its armored back. The M4 Sherman tank. Speaker 2. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the strongest. But it was everywhere, like an unstoppable tide of steel. It rolled through the fields of France, through the ruins of Europe, a moving fortress, guided by 20-year-old kids who barely knew what fear meant until they smelled burning metal. Speaker 1. The Germans had Tigers, heavier, deadlier, more armored, but the Americans had Shermans, faster, adaptable, and built by the thousands. Where the Tiger was a predator, the Sherman was a survivor. Speaker 2. You could feel its heartbeat in the engine, the vibration in the floor when the cannon fired, the heat that crawled up your spine as shells slammed against its armor. Inside that steel box, courage wasn't a word, it was a necessity. Speaker 1. And yet, the Sherman was more than a tank. It was a statement that quantity, coordination, and belief could overcome raw power. It turned fear into strategy. It turned soldiers into brothers. Speaker 2. When people think of World War II, they picture generals, flags, victory parades. But somewhere, beneath all that, was a tank driver in France, gripping the controls of his Sherman, whispering to himself, just one more mile, just one more day. He didn't know it, but he was rewriting history with every turn of the track. Speaker 1. The M4 Sherman didn't just fight battles. It carried the weight of hope across continents. And when the guns finally went silent, it stood there, scarred and stained, proof that the human spirit, like the Sherman, can roll through hell and still keep moving. Chapter 2. The Steel Beast, M1 Abrams. Speaker 2. Then came the next evolution, the tank that didn't just win wars, but defined a new era of dominance, the M1 Abrams. When it rolled onto the battlefield, the Earth itself seemed to step aside. Speaker 1. It was born in the Cold War, forged in paranoia and precision. It wasn't designed to look beautiful. It was designed to survive everything. Speaker 2. Composite armor that could take a direct hit and keep going. A turbine engine that roared like a jet. And a gun, 120 millimeters of judgment. Speaker 1. In Desert Storm, when the Abrams faced the Iraqi T-72s, the result wasn't a battle. It was revelation. American soldiers watched through thermal scopes as enemy tanks vanished in flashes of white heat. The Abrams didn't just win, it dominated. And the world took notice. Speaker 2. But for the men inside, it was never about power. It was about trust. You don't climb inside 60 tons of steel unless you believe it'll bring you home. You don't drive into the unknown unless you know the machine beside. Use more than metal. It's a promise. Speaker 1. There's something poetic about the Abrams. It's both monster and guardian. Terrifying in its strength, yet protective in its purpose. Its armor is not just steel. It's the embodiment of the soldiers who keep moving forward, no matter what stands in front of them. Speaker 2. When the dust settles and the engines go quiet, what's left behind isn't victory, it's reflection. The realization that war keeps evolving, but the emotions inside those tanks never change. Fear, courage, brotherhood, faith. Speaker 1. The Abrams became a legend, not just because it could destroy, but because it could endure. It became a metaphor for America itself, resilient, relentless, and unwilling to break, even when surrounded by chaos. Speaker 2. And maybe that's what defines a great machine. Not how many enemies it defeats, but how many lives it protects. Because behind the armor, there's always a heartbeat. Interlude. The philosophy of machines. Speaker 1. Have you ever wondered what a machine feels? Not in a mechanical sense, but in the echo it leaves behind. Because every vehicle, every piece of war technology, carries the fingerprint of its maker's intention. Speaker 2. The Sherman was born from desperation. The Abrams from deterrence. But both share a common truth. They're symbols of what humanity builds when it's cornered by fear. Speaker 1. War forces us to evolve, but it also forces us to ask the hardest question of all. When do we stop? When does protection become domination? When does invention become obsession? Speaker 2. Maybe the answer lies in reflection. Maybe it's about remembering that every machine we build, no matter how powerful, should serve one purpose: to keep humanity alive. Speaker 1. Because in the end, the real weapon isn't the tank or the gun. It's the will of the human heart that drives it. Chapter 3. The Desert Horse, Humvee. Speaker 1. The 1980s brought a new battlefield. No longer trenches or forests, but endless sand. And from that horizon came a new creature. Part truck, part guardian, the Humvee. Speaker 2. It wasn't glamorous. It didn't roar like a jet or thunder like a tank. It hummed. Steady, loyal, unbreakable. It carried soldiers through scorching deserts, hostile streets, and memories that never fade. Speaker 1. The Humvee became a moving home for thousands of American troops. Their shelter, their shield, their friend. Through the dust storms of Iraq, through the ambushes of Afghanistan, it carried stories of laughter, fear, loss, and survival. Speaker 2. You could see it in the way soldiers spoke to their vehicles. Come on, old girl, just a little further. Because in war, even machines become family. Speaker 1. When the world watched the Gulf War unfold live on TV, the Humvee became a symbol, not of power, but of presence. Every American convoy, every rescue mission, every dawn patrol, that square-shaped silhouette against the rising sun. It meant hope. Speaker 2. And when one didn't make it home, it wasn't just metal lost, it was a piece of memory. Because every dent, every bullet mark, every cracked windshield told a story of someone who believed in something bigger than fear. Chapter 4. Wings of Rescue, the Black Hawk. Speaker 1. If the Humvee ruled the earth, the Black Hawk ruled the sky. It wasn't built to conquer, it was built to save. Speaker 2. You've seen it. Dark, powerful, gliding through chaos. Its rotors cutting through the dust like a heartbeat. Every time it lands, lives change. Speaker 1. Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan. The Black Hawk became the symbol of courage that doesn't wait for safety. The kind that dives into fire when others run away. Speaker 2. Leave no one behind. That's not just a motto, it's the soul of the Black Hawk. Speaker 1. When the mission in Mogadishu went wrong, when the city became a maze of fear and confusion, those helicopters became angels with rotors, carrying wounded men, fallen brothers, and the weight of duty itself. Speaker 2. And yet, behind every flight, there's silence. The silence of those who never came back. Every soldier who looked out from that open door knew heroism isn't about surviving. It's about showing up again and again, even when you know the sky might not forgive you. Chapter 5. The Ghost Above, B-2 Spirit Bomber. Speaker 1. Then came the B-2 Spirit, a shadow in the clouds, a ghost that moves without sound, invisible even to radar. A reminder that sometimes the deadliest power is the one you never see. Speaker 2. It's not just a plane, it's a philosophy designed not to start wars, but to end them before they begin. Deterrence in the shape of a wing. Speaker 1. Its sleek black body, shaped like the night itself, carries a paradox. The promise of peace through the possibility of destruction. Speaker 2. The pilots who fly it aren't just soldiers. They're guardians of silence. Every mission they take is a message to the world that the cost of chaos is higher than the price of restraint. Speaker 1. In the age of invisible warfare, the B-2 stands as both symbol and warning. A whisper from the heavens that says, "We can strike, but we choose not to." Speaker 2. And maybe that's the greatest strength of all. Not the ability to destroy, but the discipline not to. Chapter 6. The Predator of the Sky, F-22 Raptor. Speaker 1. From the shadows of the B-2 came the scream of the F-22 Raptor. Fast, intelligent, untouchable. It wasn't just built to fight. It was built to dominate the air itself. Speaker 2. A fusion of human instinct and machine precision. When an F-22 takes off, it's not just flight, it's evolution. The moment man and machine become one, dancing through clouds at supersonic speed. Speaker 1. To watch one in motion is to see the future of warfare. Silent, elegant, unstoppable. Its radar cloak makes it nearly invisible. Its reflexes mimic a pilot's heartbeat. Speaker 2. But inside that cockpit, beneath the helmet, the calm voice, the blinking lights, there's still a human being, a heartbeat, a thought, a question. If I press this button, what changes forever? Speaker 1. Because no matter how advanced we become, every flight still carries the same ancient truth. Technology evolves, humanity endures. Speaker 2. And maybe the real enemy isn't another country. Maybe it's forgetting that we're still human beneath all the armor and algorithms. Chapter 7. The Birth of Amphibious Power, LVT. Speaker 1. Before stealth bombers and supersonic jets, there was something simple but revolutionary. The LVT, landing vehicle tracked. World War II, Pacific Theater, the age of island warfare. Speaker 2. It looked strange, half boat, half tank, crawling from ocean to sand like some prehistoric beast. But it changed everything. Speaker 1. Without the LVT, the Marines might never have reached those beaches. Tarawa, Saipan, Iwo Jima. It carried men through surf and fire, through machine gun bursts and crashing waves. Speaker 2. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't fast, but it was the bridge between fear and victory. Speaker 1. And maybe that's why it matters. Because it represents the most human trait of all, adaptation. When the world throws chaos at us, we find a way to cross it. Speaker 2. And that's what the LVT was. Not just a vehicle, but a reminder that courage is often ugly, wet, loud, and full of salt water. But it gets you there. The human machine. Speaker 1. 7 machines. 7 symbols. Each one born from necessity. Each one carrying souls who believed in something greater than themselves. Speaker 2. And yet, when you strip away the steel and the gunpowder, what's left isn't war. It's humanity. The trembling hands that build. The eyes that hope. The hearts that refuse to stop beating, even in the face of fire. Speaker 1. The Sherman taught us resilience. The Abrams, strength. The Humvee, loyalty. The Black Hawk, sacrifice. The B-2, restraint. The F-22, evolution. And the LVT, adaptation. Speaker 2. Together, they tell one story. The story of our species learning, falling, rebuilding. Learning that true power isn't destruction. It's discipline. It's compassion. It's remembering that machines don't win wars, people do. Speaker 1. And maybe that's the truth hidden beneath all the armor and engines. That the greatest invention of all is the courage to choose peace. Speaker 2. So when the skies thunder, or the tanks roll, or the engines roar through the night, remember this. Those sounds aren't just echoes of war. They're echoes of survival, of men and women who refuse to surrender, of a nation that still believes in building, even after breaking. Speaker 1. And maybe one day, when history finally rests, we'll look back and realize the real legacy of these machines wasn't how they changed war, but how they changed us. Together, these are not just machines. They are the beating hearts of history. The 7 American vehicles that didn't just change war, they changed humanity.